Hi, I'm Neil with CT Chinese Swordsmanship, and today we're going to talk about the 4 materials that you are likely to encounter for a sword, and which one is the best, in my opinion, for getting started. So the first one that we're going to talk about is foam. So Bob and I got started by taking dowels and putting a foam sleeve over them and sparring with that. The pros were that it was very cheap, and it got us sparring and learning very quickly. The cons are that it's absolutely the worst material you can use. Foam creates very weird friction that is very unrealistic and not good. Also, I am not a fan of the padding. It tends to lead to more wild swings. In general, I'm a fan of something that you need to exercise good control with, because I believe that builds a better martial artist. So I would definitely recommend against foam. The second material that we are going to talk about is plastic or synthetic. This Jian I got from Purple Heart. It arrived very quickly. The positive is that it weighs 730 grams. So that's more realistic than other plastic Jians that are out there. It flexes, so that's nice for safety as well. Those are really the positives. And then also I've used this synthetic sword playing against a HEMA person who had a synthetic dagger, so it was nice to match the material. The cons are that it has a very whippy feel, and that's just inherent to plastic, so that's the way it is. Also, the plastic on plastic is just a very unpleasant sound. That's more of an aesthetic that I don't like. And then what I really wish would be changed is the handle. This grip just does not feel like a Jian, and I find it to be uncomfortable in my hand, and other people in our group have found it to be uncomfortable as well. And if that single thing was changed, I would like this quite a bit more. I very rarely pick it up to practice, primarily because I don't like the way the grip feels. So in general, I would recommend against getting a synthetic. My personal favorite is wood. So if you're not sure what dimensions to get and what specs to get, I would go with the traditional Chinese Sword League specification. So that would be 31 inches or less, and then greater than 700 grams. Wood is great because you can get it rounded like this, so you can practice with basically no padding if you're using good control, which is not true for plastic or steel. You really want to be padded up with those materials. The negative with wood is obviously it does not flex, so you have to have good control regarding that as well. But even if you have no ambition of competing or sparring, I still recommend this for someone in our group, for instance, who they just want to do forms. This will give a historically accurate feel to your forms in a way that a lot of other swords will not. So that's really nice, and it will also enable you to do very good partner work. And wood is great because you can take it to any park and nobody cares, so it's a great one to practice with. So this is from Santouche. Highly recommend his craftsmanship, and I very much like this sword. The other material that we're going to talk about is metal or steel. This is the Hanwei Sparring Jian. It has a rounded tip. It also flexes. In general, it is stiffer than the plastic. Some people will find this on the stiff side. So when you're sparring with your partners, be sure that they are comfortable with sparring with this. This is 31 inches, weighs a full kilogram, excellent feel. I have sparred with this against my HEMA friends. They use steel longsword. I use my Jian. If I wasn't fortunate as I am to have a study group for Jian, I would go to the local HEMA club and spar with them. In general, they prefer metal to wood, so I would use the Hanwei Sparring Jian and spar them, and you could definitely learn a lot. I certainly learned a lot sparring my friends while they used longsword against me. I was able to use my Jian techniques, work perfectly fine against that, and I I thought that was a really great exchange. So in general, I would recommend against foam and plastic or synthetic, and I very much like wood and metal, with the benefit of wood being that you don't have to buy a lot of protection right up front. So it's a great material to get and just simply get started with. Thank you.